If you are a runner and running a marathon distance for the first time, the most important consideration is to come out of the marathon injury free with a smile. Rest everything is a learning. Let's discuss. I just completed my first marathon, the Tata Mumbai Marathon, about a month back. The link of which is in the description. Go ahead and watch it now. People say that there are so many things in a marathon which is beyond the marathon. There are so many lessons that you learn in a marathon which is not all about running. It's the same for me. I had plenty of lessons which I learned, which I taken home from the first marathon. In today's video, we are going to discuss my top 10 lessons from that race. Don't try new things. So friends, I'm a typical Indian foodie guy, and for the last so many years on the race or on the eve of the race day, I choose to have Indian food, dal, chawal, chokha, whatever. But for some strange reason, I had to go ahead and have a food which is not natural for me. I had pizza. And the result? Yes, I had to use the infamous porta potty. Actually, what was happening is that till 18th kilometer, I was feeling a lot of discomfort. And ultimately, at the 19th kilometer, I was fortunate to find one such clean spot, and I have to release myself. And in the process, I lost about golden 15 minutes, which matters. So therefore, please do not try anything new on the race day, be it your shoe, your apparel, your gels. Try this in your long run and be habituated to it. Do not take anything new. Coming to the second mistake on this account, just observe this image on the screen and we shall discuss. This is how I have put my bib, and this is how most of the other runners have put their bibs. Do you see any difference? Does it cause any difference? Yes, it did. It caused chafing. When you run for longer distances, you should be careful about these smaller, finer points. These are nuances. If you put bibs in your chest area, the bib pin or the safety pin by which you are attaching it will cause chafing. You should be mindful of that. So this is the second mistake that I committed. You cannot wake up one fine day and start running marathon. Well, you can do that, but please do not expect great result. Marathon is a serious distance. The planning has to be serious, structured, and implemented properly. It will require 4 to 6 months of proper training. When I say training, you do not have to go back and hire a professional trainer, but there are various aspects of a running training which you have to take into account. You need to build your aerobic base first, and then you need to do some intervals, speed session, hill repeats, many other things. So my request is, or my learning is, that in case if you are planning to do your first marathon, please be serious about it. Spend about 4 to 6 months, do a structured training, go ahead and enjoy your race. Strength training is very important, especially for runners, and if you are growing old, there is no escape to that. I paid the price for being irregular in strength training. Almost about kilometer 35, 36, I was feeling cramped and I could not increase my pace when I wanted to. Although aerobically I was doing fine, but because of the lack or irregular strength training, I could see my muscles were not up to it. Understand, running is also a neuromuscular activity. Each part of your running muscle needs to be strengthened, which will be, when supported by your aerobic base, you can be a complete runner. So please do not neglect strength training, include it in a disciplined way. Once you have done up with your first marathon, you need to give your body full time to recover back. A sleep of 8 to 10 hours will be required to recover fully back. I am 3 weeks down the first marathon, I am still recovering. You do not know while running the marathon what impact it will cause post your running. For example, I had a small niggle on my groin which did not bother me during the race, but immediately after the race, the niggle came back as a strong pain because of the overuse and long run, and I'm still recovering from it. So please take care of your recovery. The next important consideration is fueling and hydration, which many of us overlook. For me, it did not cause me any problem like bonking or hitting the wall because I did practice it in my long runs. So what I did was I took about 40-45 grams of gel before start of the run along with my breakfast, and at that every interval of 40 minutes I was taking one gel of 45 gram of carbohydrate. That was enough for me and that did the trick for me. So from this account, I did not commit any mistake, but this was a very important lesson that you must take into your consideration if you are planning to do a marathon. Friends, you need to respect the race conditions as well. Mumbai was hot. Mumbai is always hot. But this time, the race conditions was terrible due to humidity and high heat, and it was felt. So when you build up your marathon plan, do take into consideration the geography in which the race is going to happen and keep your plan a bit of flexible where you can adjust your plan accordingly. Another mistake that we often do, and probably I am also guilty of it, that under the race day condition, the condition is such that we, our adrenaline rushes very high and we generally do not follow our own pacing strategy and tend to run a bit faster at the beginning. So you have to be very strict with your race planning, your pacing strategy, and stick to that. They say running a marathon is 80% physical and 20% mental. So the mental strength plays a very important part. Your physical abilities, physical strength, you can always build up during your practice, training, or your long runs. At the same time, I would urge you to build your mental strength as well. I'll give you an example. At about 35-36 kilometer mark, when the dreaded Pedder Road came in the Mumbai Marathon, you must be knowing about Pedder Road. People who have not even run marathon or were planning to run marathon, they know in Mumbai this dreaded gradient which comes around 35-36 kilometer mark, which is Pedder Road. And most of the people, including me, I could see was struggling. And at that point of time, something happened. I heard someone telling or encouraging another by saying, ये Pedder Road क्या है? ये तो another flyover है. कुछ नहीं, ऐसे ही हो जाएगा. And it hit me and it stayed with me. Exactly. The way you take the challenges is very important. Pedder Road was nothing but another flyover. So that spurred me and I started running again. And this is what mental strength is all about. And also, I was fortunate to having run with a very positive friend of mine, Mr. Rane, whom you have seen in that video as well. He was always positive and he was encouraging me, and of course, I was returning him back the favor. And this helps if you're running with a group or a friend. You are always at a spirited high. While running a marathon is about execution of your strategy to the T, your fueling, your pacing, your heart rate, and everything matters. You also must not forget the occasion itself. It's a celebration of life as well. It's a celebration of your hard-earned effort. 42 kilometers is a serious business. Let me give an example. When I was running marathon, I think I have said this in that video as well, that if you have to do your first marathon, Mumbai is the best place. Consider this. At about 3:35 in the morning when I woke up, the streets were flooded with either runners or the people who have come to support runners. I never ever have I seen so many supporters of coming out in the street and supporting a race. And as early as the morning as 4 people came out with their family, children, with all the support that they can do. Entire distance of 42 kilometers, there were people, either with electrolyte, with oranges, with sweets, with water. In fact, let me tell you that I actually ran out of water and the water station was very far away, the next water station. And I actually looked out for help, and I could see a group of a young kid. They came out and they offered their water bottle to me, and this can happen only in marathon. It was so beautiful. So you cannot neglect this surrounding. And I would urge you, when you do a race, please also take a step back and enjoy the occasion, celebrate the occasion, and say a big thank you to the people who, even being stranger, came out to support you. The most important lesson that I took back from this marathon is that you do not know what you are capable of till the lights are on. Till about a year back, I was not planning for this marathon. But now, as I stand after finishing my first marathon and look back, I could see there are so much of abilities which I unearthed, so much of grit, so much of courage, so much of perseverance that I probably showed in finishing my first marathon is nothing but exemplary, and it applies to everybody who takes this Herculean task. It reassures your ability that you can take such kind of challenge and surmount it. And once you do this, the confidence of accomplishment that you take back will rub it off definitely in your daily life. I can tell this from my life as well. After coming back from marathon and having this feeling of accomplishment that yes, I can also do it, the other challenges in daily walk of life are kind of looking so undaunting to me right now, and I'm feeling there is a sense of that I will be able to do it, I'll be able to do it, accomplish it without much hurdle. That strange and lovely feeling, that great feeling that you have is amazing, and this is what you can take back and bring in your daily life when you accomplish such kind of harder task. So at this point of time, I would really urge you to sign up for your next race. So these were my learnings from running my first marathon. I'm sure you must also have a lot of learning when you run your first marathon or such kind of a distance. Why don't you go ahead and put comment and share with all of us what have been your greatest learning on running a race. And yes, if you are liking the intent and content of these videos, I would urge you go ahead and subscribe, like and share this video with your friends. And at the end, I would have to say, run easy, race hard.